Hi there, folks. It's Shad and Danny. It is Bronco Planet, folks. Welcome back, Shad. You know, it seems like we've been away for far too long. 2 games more in the book, Shad. 2 more victories. A 42-17 whooping of the 49ers that had us both kind of, on the schedule kind of going, eh, but really just dominance on the Broncos side of the ball. Last Thursday night, Chargers coming to town. Another game that I know you personally were a little bit worried about. 35-21 of the Chargers. Let's rewind 2 weeks here, Shad, and what stuck out most in your head about the 49er game?
Well, I mean, I think our defense is really what's getting my attention. All the press, 509 touchdowns and counting for Peyton Manning. Yes, I mean, that's all great stuff, right? Happy to celebrate it. How great is it to be in Denver, Colorado, where you got 1 week it's Julius Thomas, next week Demaryius Thomas, after that Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, it's just so many weapons. Yes, great job, Peyton Manning, but I am absolutely loving this defense.
Right. Well, if style points are awarded, I mean, we've got it in spades as far as the offense goes. Finally starting to click. Hillman in the running game is finally starting to click. In both games, it was just phenomenal, and it definitely takes a little bit of pressure off of Peyton Manning and company when it comes to the passing game. But absolutely, 6 sacks in the 49er game, 5 coming just between Vaughn and DeMarcus. Where I don't know, if I'm the rest of the NFL, I'm really worried about the edge pressure that the Denver defense brings.
No, absolutely, and don't go without mentioning either the big defensive tackles. I mean, we are absolutely stopping the run. Pot Roast, Sylvester Williams, and Derek Wolfe is impressing me as well. I mean, we've got great guys in the middle.
Right.
Marvin Austin getting a little time in there. I mean, right now, the Denver defense is as good as it's been since the Orange Crush days.
Sacks aside, let's talk about rushing defense right now. Your Denver Broncos, the #1 rushing defense in the NFL. 60-something yards they gave up to San Fran. Another 61 given up in the Charger game, but a little bit of garbage yards. Right now, I mean, how do you run on the Denver Bronco defense yet?
Well, you just can't. I mean, they've everything that they've put together. Jack Del Rio gets a lot of credit, right? We've been critical at times, not seeing things come together, but right now, great run stop and defense. This is a completely different team than we saw in the Super Bowl. This is why we were pissed several weeks ago when we weren't playing up to our ability, and you missed your shot at a perfect season, Danny, when we played the Seahawks, who, by the way, have looked mediocre to everybody else. We played a little scared. Now we're playing Bronco football the way Danny and Shad like it. Stick it in your face, lot of offense, great defense. The pass sets up the run, and I don't know what it is. Maybe this is a new tradition, Danny, in Denver. Your running back has to suck for quite a while, and then all of a sudden he gets really good. We saw it happen with No-Sean Moreno. We were ready to wash him away. Had a great season last year, and now Ronnie Hillman, the guy who almost got cut from this team, seriously, is running with speed right in the middle. He's not fumbling, and then our big guy, Juwan Thompson, finally getting some carries. He's bulldozing people. It's a great combination. This, without a doubt, this isn't just local fans. Everybody knows it. The Denver Broncos, the team to beat. They got one more game that I'm really worried about, and that's obviously the game coming up against Tom Brady at Foxborough. We saw Brady and the boys lighten it up big time. 5 touchdown passes for Brady today. So right now we're all set. It's showdown Manning, Brady. But it's going to be a much different defense for Tom Brady when he goes up against those Broncos.
And again, what a difference a year makes. Last year it seemed like Joe Collier was back in town calling the plays, just driving us absolutely crazy. Our takeaway giveaway was horrendous, and up to just a few games ago, well, it still was. All of a sudden, we're forcing turnovers. Raheem the Dream, I know you've been a little critical of Raheem coming up with a big interception. Chris Harris is back on the radar with a big interception. Talib, multi-interceptions this year. Just as everything is coming together, and you look at this team that we put together this year, I think just, halfway through the season, or not quite halfway through the season, Shad, this offseason acquisition, you have to give that award to Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I know the girls love Decker. I mean, he was a great guy to have here. I certainly loved his contributions here, and actually doing, I think, better than a lot of people thought he would do with the Jets, even with the hamstring injury. But Emmanuel Sanders brings a whole different level to this game. A lot faster. He can go quick. He's hard to cover across the middle. He's been having 100-yard games. He just hasn't been able to get that big touchdown game, and lo and behold, it's just a different day. It's Sanders' day. 3 touchdowns. I'm going crazy. crazy, helping me out with my fantasy team against Yoho. Anyway, we're doing great. And so Sanders looking good. And even, Danny, we've had some players have rough games. Like we saw Demarius start off a little rusty. Obviously, Julius Thomas the last 2 games has been so-so. But you have so many weapons that you don't need to be great every week, and somebody's stepping up. We saw on defense, Quentin Carter really had a rough game this against San Diego, but you know, lo and behold, Talib gets another interception. There's pressure. There's everything you want. The more you pressure, Danny, more interceptions, turnovers are going to come. That's where it all starts. Great things are happening.
And nobody crumbles under pressure, Shad, better than Phillip Rivers. We'll transition to game number 2, big Thursday night game, coming off a very short week. At least they didn't have to travel. Nobody likes playing that. We like watching it, but as long as it's, you know, if it's our team playing, we get a little nervous about it. More of a complete game, I thought, on Thursday night against the Chargers than the previous week against the 49ers on both sides of the ball. Second half, once you're up a couple of touchdowns, defense got a little soft. Del Rio was more prevent rather than pinning ears back. And you know, everybody knows we've seen Phillip Rivers a million times. If you get him off his game, if you get him uncomfortable, if you get him running around, generally, you know, turnovers and good things are going to happen. We obviously saw a little bit of that. Juwan Thompson, first 2 touchdown game. I know Peyton Manning's thrown for a billion yards and a billion touchdowns, and he was the offensive player of the week. I know that the defense right now, number 1 against the rush. I'm going to give this little bad boy right here, the $1.39 trophy, to a rookie, Juwan Thompson, for one reason and one reason only. And it's something that we've been preaching each and every week since we saw this kid in the preseason. He is a bruising killer back. And obviously Denver's trying to finally figuring this out at the goal line. You know, he gets, some would call some garbage points because he's obviously not on your fantasy football team. But the bottom line is that you need that big back, short goal. I need yards. Ask Jahil Adai from San Diego. Thompson hit him so hard he had a sudden case of palsy hit him. I mean, it was just, that's the kind of back, you know, when you talk about change of pace, that's your change of pace. Which really begets the big question when Monte Ball gets healthy, where does he fit into this whole deal?
Well, I mean, I think he'll get his share, but right now what you got is speed with Hillman. You don't have to hold those blocks as long. Just a short little push off right in the middle, and then you got the bruisers. So it is so complete. This is why this team is number 1.
Who do you defend against?
You run out of options. And then Welker, who he also deserves one of these little trophies, not getting a ton of targets, but when he does, he's getting first downs,
when it counts,
making critical catches, and it's as complete as it's ever been.
You know something? The only thing, I guess, you know, when we talk about style points, you know, and really the pissing that you and I have done up to this point is and was and probably will continue to be nitpicky stuff, and it is all style point stuff. But you know, again, we don't go in with blinders, and you obviously have to call a duck, but coming up, you know, in these next, you know, Denver's got to still, you know, if you thought the first half of the schedule was bad, the back half isn't looking very much better at all. But you know, obviously this is a big deal in New England, and why the hell we always travel to New England is beyond freaking me. But apparently it is what it is. But can a team peak too soon? And if so, do you think Denver's one of them?
No, I mean, I don't think they've really been peaking until, I mean, they're right now, they're starting to play complete games. We didn't see that. We didn't talk about that the first 4 or 5 games.
Right, it's one half of the other.
So right now they're starting to do very well. I think right now I see New England on the road and then Kansas City on the road. Right. That's all I'm really worried about now. I think we're in the driver's seat. I think we can get home field advantage. Should a loss come, we already lost our perfect season. Not worried about it. What we have been blessed with is great weather, and you know, obviously Peyton Manning plays great, and it's good passing weather. Obviously worked out great for the Broncos. So once it gets a little colder, I mean, we're a couple weeks here. Anytime Halloween hits Denver, you know that you'd better put the earmuffs on. It's going to start getting pretty chilly. Right. So I think right now, I think we are set to go, and I feel very comfortable. Really, you sit back and wait till playoff time, Danny. We're there. Yep. I'd like to see us win some tough road games.
Yep, absolutely. And with that being said, we obviously are going to be traveling up to New England. It is a late start game. Obviously, nobody's really interested in watching any other game in the afternoons, and why the NFL, again, only shows 3 games in the afternoon is another head-scratcher, but that's what they do. Yep. So until then, you guys have yourself a good week. Go Broncos. He's Shad. I'm Danny. This is Bronco Planet.